You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neil, and I will be your host today along with Jeff. How's it going, Jeff?
Good. How are you doing, Neil?
I'm doing well. Today's a little bit of a different game. Jeff and I are actually going to tag team this game and co-host. We're calling today's game Left Brain, Right Brain. And how that's going to work is the first round of questions are going to be left brain centric, geography, science, things like that. And then the second round is going to be right brain centric, arts, movies, music, TV, and everything in between. Joining us in the studio today are our contestants. First of all, our co-host, Ken. How's it going, Ken?
Hey, everybody.
All right. And Matt is not in the studio today. He had an emergency raccoon surgery to take care of. There was a raccoon on the side of the road who needed an appendectomy. So he's not going to be here today, but we will send our thoughts and prayers to the raccoon. Jeff, do you know where Matt is?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Matt's not with us today. He said that he needed to go base jumping, so he's not in the studio with us.
Oh, okay. Well, tomato, base jumping, raccoon shaving, either one. Our first contestant.
The truth is he's working, but
yeah, he is working
at base jumping.
Yes,
right. Yeah, correct.
Base Jumping Incorporated.
Our first contestant is Phil. How's it going, Phil?
Well, thank you.
Awesome. And Phil, how did you get into trivia?
I've done a couple of trivia nights at bars in the Chicago area. Let's see. There's a couple I know that we've done.
Yeah.
We've done around, and not really seriously, but just kind of for fun every once in a while. Yeah.
Sweet. And Phil, you are a high school music teacher.
I am.
Awesome. And quickly, favorite music movie that you get to show your kids?
It has to be, hands down without a question, Amadeus. Play me Salieri. Yep. And also joining us in the studio, or actually, I guess from Skype, is one of our biggest fans on Twitter, one of our favorite people to talk to about wrestling, trivia, and the meaning of life. It is Vivek Ravishankar. How's it going, Vivek?
It is going well. Glad to be here, or glad to be on with you guys.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I live in Connecticut. I'm self-employed as a consultant, but I'm a big trivia fan. I was on Jeopardy a couple times last year, so it's coming on a year now, and then have been on a few other trivia podcasts and figured I'd join you guys. I know you guys are Chicago area, so I lived in Chicago for a long time. That's actually where I played, I would say, most of the bar trivia I've played in my life. Anyway, happy to be here. Look forward to playing with you guys.
Jeff, why don't you explain the rules for our contestants?
absolutely. Our game is simple. It's 20 questions in a variety of topics worth 10 points apiece, split into 2 rounds. At halftime, there will be a special swing round designed by Neil today, where players can accumulate extra points. At the end of regulation, players will enter the final round, where the points they've accumulated thus far can be wagered 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah.
All right, thanks, Jeff, for explaining the rules. Ken, Phil, Vivek, are you guys ready to go?
Yep.
Yo.
Absolutely. I'm planning to go 0 for 10 on these first 10. And then 10 for 10 on the second set.
Awesome. Well, without further ado, Jeff, take it away.
All right, gentlemen, straight into question 1. Alaska does not have counties. Instead, it has these regions which share their name with New York City administrative districts. What might those be called?
Okay. I have a thought on this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and lock in with what I think is an obvious answer.
Are you in, Phil?
Yeah, I'm in.
Great. Okay, so Phil and Ken are in.
I'm in.
Good deal. All right, so Ken wrote his answer pretty quickly, so I'm going to shoot it over to him first.
When you said New York, I just thought of boroughs, so I just went right away with boroughs before I overthought it.
Okay. Phil?
I went with precincts.
Okay. Vivek?
Boroughs for me. I just went on the New York thing as well.
So it is indeed boroughs. When I found this out, I was actually kind of surprised. I was looking at what I thought were counties of Alaska, but they're actually called boroughs. It's the only state in the U.S. that does not have counties in the traditional fashion.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What about doesn't Louisiana do like parishes?
Yep. They do. Yeah, they do. They do parishes. So boroughs
Gotcha.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Moving right along then. Question 2. What Rush instrumental gets its 3-letter title from the code for Toronto Pearson's airport?
I'm in.
Yeah, Phil was jumping right in on this one. I know he's a fan of Canadian music in general.
Indeed.
Phil, are you half Canadian? Or do you have dual citizenship or no?
Technically, no.
Okay,
I don't
you just
believe
have
so.
your Canadian blood, Canadian family, right? And then you enter the country legally, basically.
Neil?
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
I don't really have a educated guess on this one. Unfortunately, I do like Rush when it comes on, but it's not something I know the song names of. So, yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Phil looked very excited. I want to throw it over to him first.
So we're looking for the song title.
Yes.
Of the instrumental. Is it YYZ?
Okay. And Vivek, what did you say?
I'm going to say this really slowly. This is one of those like spelling bee screw up things. Y-Y-Z.
And Ken, what'd you say?
I didn't have an educated guess on this one, so I just put TPI.
The correct answer is in fact YYZ.
Or would it be YYZ?
You know, I had thought you might say that. YYZ is the code for Toronto Pearson's airport. I guess Rush came up with the idea for the name while traveling to the airport, which my dad said that's how they got the name, and I said there's no way.
If I remember from the drum beat on Rock Band or Guitar Hero, whichever one, isn't it the one where it goes up?
Yes. And then cymbals come crashing in? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Neil Peart. Very nice.
All right. Question 3. Within 5 miles, what's the farthest distance you can get from a body of water in the state of Michigan?
This is a fool's errand to try to figure out for me. Do you have a line of thinking on this, Phil, or are you just
no,
just stabbing in the dark?
Yeah, pretty much.
Any thoughts, Vivek?
I just have to try and game theory this out. Any body of water?
Any body of water.
Any body of water.
Yep.
Okay. So,
Like puddles
No.
after heavy rain.
Question: has it rained recently?
No, this would
Jeff?
this would be established bodies of water, lakes, rivers.
Jeff, of every question you've ever asked, this one is the most like, how the am I supposed to know?
so my thinking is there are entire parts, like the Upper Peninsula, where the answer might even just be like 5.
So is that an official answer from you? Or?
Now, I want to give myself a little bit of slack.
5,
I'm going to go with 8.
Okay. Ken?
I went with 50, a little higher. But again, just a guess.
Phil?
I'm even a little higher than that, and this is also just a complete guess. I said 93.
Okay, so Vivek is the closest. He's the only one actually in range. The answer is 6.
Got it.
Ah, goodness.
Yeah, I thought it'd be. I thought a 5-mile range is really funny because then you literally could have said, I don't know, 1 mile.
Come on, Jeff, man. We're already playing from behind against this Jeopardy champion.
Question 4. Which fruit, which nearly went extinct following the death of the megafauna that dispersed its seeds, is a staple of much of Central and South America?
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with my original.
Okay. Any thoughts over there, Phil?
No. Sadly.
Is that you're just going to tap out on this one then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I got.
You don't just want to pick a fruit?
I'm not going to be picking fruit.
All right. Vivek, what did you say for this one?
I have not heard the megafauna part of it, but everything else suggests banana. I've heard that bananas are going extinct, and it's the right region of the world.
Yep, you've got the right region of the world for that. Yep.
I was along the same lines. You always hear about bananas kind of being in danger of that, and I'm not same thing. I'm not sure about the megafauna portion of it, but yeah, I went with banana.
Phil tapped out.
I tapped out, yeah.
So while the banana is going extinct, my understanding is that has more to do with the fact that we've made a monoculture of it, and so it's very susceptible to disease. This was actually a few hundred years ago. There was a large animal that was eating avocados, and avocados nearly went extinct. Human beings are the only reason that they still exist. We started burying them and planting them. I'm not a fan personally, but yeah, the avocado very nearly not with us.
Yeah, according to some internet articles, I'm supposed to be spreading avocado on my toast. So I don't know what I would be spreading on my toast if not avocado, if it had gone away.
What was the animal?
What's really funny is I went to briefly look up avocado extinction, and banana extinction was the recommended.
I think we should get. I think me and Vivek should get points for that.
So about 13,000 years ago, it hit its prime. Megafauna, including mammoths, horses, and giant ground sloths, were the ones who were responsible for making sure that it was sticking around. But yeah, as we started to hunt those and they started to disappear, nearly did the avocado.
We hunted sloths?
We probably didn't hunt them directly, but we certainly have done territorial encroachment. Megafauna are usually the first ones to go when we start taking over territory.
It's a good one.
Question number 5. This is one of our listener-submitted questions coming to us today from Austin, a friend of us here in the studio, a couple of us personally. So his question was, who famously snubbed Jesse Owens at the 1935 Olympics?
I've given the best answer I can. Oh, wait.
I'm in.
Okay, I'm in now.
All right, so I will kick it to Ken. Looked like he went back and forth, crossed an answer out. So what did you finally settle on?
So I almost put Hitler. I don't know. I can't quite remember the full story, but something in my mind was ringing that it was our own guy that actually snubbed him. So I went FDR.
Okay. Vivek?
I also have crossed out Hitler and put FDR. I think he wasn't invited to the White House after winning the gold medals.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Phil?
I actually ended up going with Hitler. Yeah.
So, curiously enough, by the time Jesse competed, Hitler hadn't acknowledged any athletes, so he wasn't meeting with any of them personally. Franklin, on the other hand, congratulated all other winning athletes in the U.S. except for Jesse Owens, and that was based purely on race. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. Question 6. Who was the first president born outside of the original 13 colonies?
Yikes.
Okay, I've chosen a reasonable guess. So Phil has filled out his answer and crossed it out so many times that he's actually run out of space on his answer sheet. He's gonna have to write the president to the margins.
I am in.
Everyone is in?
Yeah.
While Jeff's looking at some notes, let's start with Ken.
I just had a hunch. I was thinking about Jackson, but I went with James K. Polk.
All right, and Phil?
After several scratch outs, I guessed Teddy Roosevelt.
All right, and Vivek?
Lincoln, I don't like it.
I was thinking about that too. You might be onto something.
So Vivek, you may not like it, but it is the right answer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, well done, sir.
Born in Kentucky, Abraham Lincoln, the first president not born in the original 13 colonies.
Oh man, I almost went with that too. That's bothersome.
I can feel Ken sighing already. I'm moving on to question 7. It's another geography question.
It's all right. This is all of the Jeff questions.
It's true.
Get them out of the way.
Yeah. You might actually like this because you can kind of ramp into a good score. So, question 7. What state would you find the center point of the U.S. in? And I'm going to specify this is the non-contiguous. So there are 2 center points, one for the entire United States and one for just the contiguous lower 48. I'm looking for the non-contiguous.
Couldn't give me one I knew.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, the contiguous one is not too hard. But I'm assuming if you know it, you have a much better shot than Ken at getting the non-contiguous.
Okay, I'm in.
All right, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
Vivek, you seem to know the non-contiguous, or the contiguous.
The contiguous. The contiguous is Kansas.
It is in Kansas. So what did you say for non-contiguous?
So the non-contiguous is take the contiguous, add a big landmass up into the left and a small one down into the left. So I figured it goes to the left for sure, and it goes up. So I went with Wyoming because that's up into the left of Kansas.
I like the logic. Ken?
I used pretty much the same logic, but I wasn't sure how far south Hawaii actually was. So I actually went down and went to Arizona.
Okay. Phil?
I went further west, man. I said Cali.
Okay, surprisingly, it's almost straight north. So Alaska juts out quite a lot with the Aleutians, and so it almost offsets all of Hawaii. So you actually have to go north to South Dakota.
Is there? Oh, wow. Okay.
South Dakota. Okay.
Yeah, there's, and I had to be very specific because when I was researching this, there's like 4 center points depending on how you define it. It's like, all right, I get it.
Let's forget that happened.
Except you can't because it'll be burned into the internet's memory forever. Question 8. A meter measuring for this allegedly can be used to find the presence of ghosts. It's unbelievable.
I'm in.
Okay.
I've definitely seen some of those stupid shows where they go into the haunted like old mental hospitals and stuff like that.
Let me break these shows down for you. To what Ken's talking about. This is every show that is on Animal or Discovery, whatever. It goes like this. It goes, we are at the insane asylum in Beaufort, Pennsylvania. What was that? What was that? And that's every episode. That's every episode.
But there's the one show where they're like bros. You know the one.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one. It's Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunter or something like that. They're bros, so they're like, "You want to fight me, Ghost?
I'm from the streets. I'll fight you."
Dude looks like young Guy Fieri.
Oh yeah. I think his name is Zach. Maybe. I think you're right. It's Ghost Adventures.
Sounds about right.
Dude, you do not know what you're made of until you fight a ghost.
That's true.
That's very true.
I think everybody's in, right?
I'm not in yet.
Oh, okay.
So on these shows, I feel free that I can say this now. There's a three-letter word for what this is that they're measuring for. I think the answer is 3 letters, but every time they say it, I'm always going, "This is bull." So I always talk over it, and I don't know what the 3 letters are. Okay, I wrote 3 letters.
Okay, Vivek, what did you put for this one?
I don't know if I'm overthinking this, but you wouldn't have said it's unbelievable unless it was a lie detector, right? I said lies.
Okay, Ken.
EVP. Maybe.
Okay, Phil.
I had no idea, so I went the Ghostbusters route. I think I wrote ectometer.
Okay. I'm really disappointed. If I told you that Unbelievable was a 90s music reference.
Oh, it's EMF.
EMF.
It is EMF. Yeah.
I was close. I knew it was 3 letters, and the first one was E, but I couldn't get farther than that.
For electromagnetic frequencies, the band never really released what theirs was named after. Some people thought it was England Motherfuckers, but because they're a British pop band. But no, I don't think they ever said what it stood for. So.
All right.
No,
EMF.
that's a show idea right there. Take EMF and go find ghosts.
You know, Neil, not everything is a good show idea.
No, it is great because then that show.
No, actually,
that show would actually be very different from what I described because it would be, it was over there. What is that? Yes, it would be the same thing. Sorry.
Good Lord.
Oh, it's a ghost, isn't it?
Hey, bruv, leave me alone, bruv.
Hey, bruv.
I like how they're like they're like hoodies.
Question 9, heading to outer space in this one. What is the average thickness of Saturn's rings? Now, I'm not expecting you to know close. I just want an answer that's within 50% of the right answer.
I feel your mama joke coming on, but I'm going to refrain.
Any fans of Saturn here?
It's my favorite planet.
I'm in.
Okay. All right, we're all good? How about I start with Ken?
I felt like because you asked this question, it should be notable. So it's probably pretty thin. I just went with a centimeter because I don't know how much closer I can get.
All right, Phil?
10 miles.
Okay. Vivek?
50 miles.
So it's actually Ken is the closest on this, believe it or not. The average thickness is only 10 meters. Yeah. It's amazing. Something as wide as basically 2/3 the distance between here and our moon. It's only about 10 meters thick on average.
I felt like it would be pretty
It's
thin,
very thin. Very thin. Yeah. And on to question 10. I mean, it wouldn't be... I mean, not that I've written very many, but it wouldn't be a game near and dear to my heart if I didn't already cover astrophysics and some science and geography. So I'm going to do one more category in my wheelhouse, and I'm going to do a World War II question.
Phenomenal.
So name 2 of the 5 landing sites by code name for the D-Day Normandy invasion.
And
That took no time. I would think that you can definitely get this if you remember Saving Private Ryan, because they definitely mention at least 2 of them. Vivek was in almost immediately, so why don't I kick it over to you?
I wrote down Omaha and Sword as the 2. I think the other 3 are Utah, Gold, and Juneau.
Okay. And Ken?
I didn't think hard enough. I did write Utah. The other one I picked was Dynamo, which I don't know where I came up with that.
And Phil?
I went with Neptune.
Okay. So very quick to answer 2, and in fact, got all 5. Omaha, Utah, Gold, Juneau, and Sword are
Good
the
job.
5 landing sites for D-Day.
The Normandy invasion was codenamed Operation Neptune, by the way.
Oh, maybe that's where you got it.
Okay.
That's impressive. Yeah. So these were specifically the landing sites, but
gotcha.
yeah, I know a few of us really enjoyed Dunkirk. I haven't seen it yet, but Christopher Nolan's awesome, so I can't imagine it's that bad. So in 3rd place with 10 points, Phil. In 2nd place with 20 points is Ken.
Ooh.
And with 3 times as many points as that, Vivek with 60 points.
So like we said, this is a left brain, right brain episode, and to sort of ease you in or ease you out of the left brain and into the right brain, our mid-round today is going to be a little lighter, maybe even a little more magical, okay? A little more magical.
God.
So this is what I'm going to be looking for. There are princesses that are considered canon in Disney, the Disney canon group of princesses. We are not including Moana, Elsa, and Anna from Frozen because they're new. A lot of people consider them Disney princesses, but they're not officially considered Disney princesses yet. So what I'm looking for is I want you to name the princess and the movie she's in. You'll get 5 points for each. So 5 points for the name, 5 points for the movie that she's in. And I will give you 20 bonus points if you can put them all in release order. Okay? There are going to be 11 princesses, okay?
This is worth a ton of points.
Yeah.
So you see a lot on the internet about these, reimagining of Disney princesses. My favorite one that I saw was the reimagining of the Disney princesses as if they were on trial at the Nuremberg hearings.
Nice.
I'm going to have to Google that. I can't even imagine what that is.
I will share you...
Such a good joke.
I think I've probably said it before. I will share later my absolute favorite depiction of a Disney princess, but we'll go back to that later.
Nobody wants to hear about your weird porn.
It has nothing to do with that.
All right, so it looks like everyone's long lists are in. So just a reminder, each name is worth 5 points, each movie is worth 5 points, and if you put all of the movies in correct release order, that'll be an extra bonus 20 points. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to each competitor, just name me off your list in whatever order it may be, and Jeff is going to keep score, and then I'm going to reveal the actual list, and we'll tell you what you gained. Is that okay with everyone?
Sounds good.
All right.
Man.
Yep.
All right, so let's start with Phil.
Right on. This is in no particular order. I have Jasmine from Aladdin. I have Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I have Cinderella from Cinderella. I have Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. Mulan from Mulan. I have a movie, was it The Frog Prince? I have the movie, but I couldn't remember her name. I have Anastasia from Anastasia. And Ariel from The Little Mermaid. And that is my list.
Okay.
Ooh, Anastasia. I didn't remember her, but I wrote down in order as best I could. Snow White from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, Alice from Alice in Wonderland, Ariel from Little Mermaid, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, Jasmine from Aladdin, Mulan, Jane from Tarzan. I think it was Diane from Princess and the Frog. And I couldn't remember what Brave's name, so I just went Lucy from Brave.
Okay, and Vivek?
All right, I took a shot at this old to new. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, Ariel, Little Mermaid, Belle, Beauty and the Beast, Jasmine, Aladdin, Pocahontas in Pocahontas.
Oh, that's the one.
Mulan in Mulan. And that's 8. So I've seen a question that was 8. And I think the 3 more after that are Tiana, Princess and the Frog.
That's it.
Rapunzel, Tangled. And Merida, Brave.
Okay.
Laying the smackdown. I think he's right.
Yeah
I mean,
man.
Anastasia too, maybe, but
I don't think Anastasia is Disney.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was actually a Fox Animation Studios picture, and it was actually directed by a former Walt Disney Animation director.
That must
okay.
why it looks
Intrigue.
so similar.
Our first era, as they call it for the Disney princess canon, is called the classic era. You have Snow White in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You have Cinderella from Cinderella and Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. Then we have the Renaissance era. You have Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Belle in Beauty and the Beast, Jasmine from Aladdin, Pocahontas from Pocahontas, Mulan from Mulan. Then we have the modern era, which is Tiana from The Princess and the Frog, Rapunzel from Tangled, and Merida from Brave. So Vivek actually was
Cleaned
100%
up.
correct on that.
Vivek cleaning up.
Well, great job on that question, Vivek. Jeff, what were the scores for the mid-round there?
So in the mid-round, huge point gains for all parties involved. Phil gains 60. That puts him up to a running total of 70 going into round 2. Ken tacks on another 80, making it a cool 100. And Vivek adding another 130. He pushes his score going into the second round up to 190.
Come on, man.
190 beats your 70.
We're going to move right into the right brain, if all of you are ready.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep.
Question 1 of round 2. Researchers in Europe tried to figure out why some songs are catchy and others are not. And they developed a game using the top 40 songs from each decade over the past 70 years and had 12,000 people play over a year-long study period. While most music artists want to be known as the group with the catchiest song, this group from England had a track recognized in 2.29 seconds of starting, making it the catchiest song ever, according to the study. So I'm looking for the group from England who had the catchiest song ever, according to this study.
Okay.
I'm in.
Me too.
Okay, Ken and Vivek are in.
So I don't know if you want to... I know it was a long question. There's a hint in there, isn't there?
There is a hint in this question, but I should I say the hint first or what the answer is?
No, you could say what the answer is.
Okay, so let's start with Vivek.
Yeah, I just heard this. It's Spice Girls. Wannabe.
Okay, Phil.
I also went with Spice Girls.
All right, and Ken.
Really? You guys both knew this? I just went with the Beatles.
The Beatles was a very good guess. There was a hint in the question. I said, while most music artists want to be known.
Son of a...
Oh!
Neil, you're unbelievable.
So the correct answer is Spice Girls Wannabe, and just...
I can picture that, just like, yo! And you're like, oh, I know that song.
And so here is the actual top 10 of the 20 catchiest songs according to this study. Number 1, Spice Girls Wannabe. Number 2, Lou Bega, Mambo Number 5.
Oh, God, what happened to that guy?
Number 3...
Actually, I looked up what happened to that guy. He's doing fine. He didn't like crash and burn or anything like that. He's just enjoying it.
Nice. Good for him.
Number 3, Survivor, Eye of the Tiger.
Local guy.
Right.
Number 4, Lady Gaga, Just Dance. Number 5, ABBA, SOS. Number 6, Roy Orbison, Pretty Woman. Number 7, Michael Jackson, Beat It. Number 8, Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. Number 9, The Human League, Don't You Want Me. And number 10, Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
The Human League making an appearance.
Human League.
Bum, bum. Yeah, I could get it in 2 notes.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
dun, yep. So, and actually, even though this study was kind of goofy, it was, in fact, to help with research with Alzheimer's. So it did turn out to be a nice thing that they did. All right, moving on to question 2. This question is provided by our friend Jeffrey Seguritan, and he was just recording with us today, and he actually sent this over, which I thought was a fun one to add into the mix. So, question 2. In what 1988 film does John Cleese play a character named Archie Leach as a tribute to Cary Grant, who was also born near his birth town in England?
In.
Okay, I'm in.
All right, let's start with Ken on this one.
With no confidence, but I think John Cleese is in the movie. I went with A Fish Called Wanda.
Okay, Phil?
I also went with Fish.
And Vivek?
Yep.
Okay, the correct answer is A Fish Called Wanda.
Jeffrey's a good guy. I had a chance to play live trivia with him a few weeks ago.
Oh, I saw the pictures of that. Where was that in?
It was in Long Island. The game was like the final round of something that had been happening for the year prior. Jeffrey, another guy Lee, and I played and came in second. It was a tough round, but Jeffrey knows his stuff.
Yeah, Jeffrey's great. Actually, it's kind of funny. Small world. We're recording with you today. We recorded with Lee, and we recorded with Jeffrey. So it was your whole team.
There you go.
All in one day.
Small world.
That's a powerful team right there.
That is a very powerful team. Straight into question 3. This one was also provided to us by one of our listeners and fans, Brent Bullmeyer. And I apologize, Brent, if the pronunciation is wrong. It could be Brent Bullmeyer. But we appreciate your question and your listenership. Question is, who was the first actor or actress to earn an Emmy Award nomination for portraying the same character on 3 different television series? 2 were as a regular cast member, and 1 was for a guest appearance.
This is one of my favorite questions. I mean, I knew this. I didn't even.
Yeah, I've heard people say this question at different events. It's always a fun one.
I'm in.
I'm in on something I'm not entirely confident on, but I will go with it.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm in.
Okay, let's start with Phil.
This is kind of a shot in the dark, but I went with Kelsey Grammer.
Okay, let's go to Vivek.
I have Kelsey Grammer. Cheers and Frasier are the for sure ones. I think Wings is the guest.
All right, and Ken.
I went.
Sorry,
He's already laughing.
I went with. So stupid.
Just say it, dude.
All right, I went with Matt LeBlanc for his performance as Joey on Friends and the short-lived reboot Joey. No, I'm just kidding. I went with Kelsey Grammer too.
Nice.
Kelsey Grammer is correct. It was Cheers, 88, 90, and 90. Frasier, 94 to 2002 and 2004. And Wings in 1992 is Dr. Frasier Crane.
Cool.
I actually met the star of Wings, Steven Weber, at a play in London that Kevin Spacey was in. He was a really nice guy. So
Matt LeBlanc did not pull one in for Joey.
We're still holding out. At least he is. He's still thinking it's going to come.
He needs to guest star as Joey in another show first.
I hope they bring that back for Netflix, like they do with other shows.
It's going to be Friends, but they're all going to be in a senior home.
I loved Steven Weber in Studio 60. I didn't like Studio 60, but I liked him.
Oh, no, he was great in that show. All right, we're going to move on to question 4. You might have seen this queen fighting the Germans on Themyscira in a recent blockbuster, or planning her upcoming wedding under a new moon to Theseus in a famous Shakespearean comedy. So it's going to be it's the same person I'm talking about. You might have seen this queen fighting the Germans on Themyscira in a recent blockbuster, or planning her upcoming wedding under a new moon to Theseus in a famous Shakespearean comedy.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay. Let's start with Ken.
I went with Diana as reference to Wonder Woman.
Okay, Phil?
I would same Diana.
And Vivek?
I said Antiope. I never know how to pronounce it, but it's Robin Wright in Wonder Woman.
So I was actually looking. So the clue in there was the character is in A Midsummer Night's Dream and is getting married to Theseus, and it's the same queen that would be the queen of the Amazons.
Oh.
It is Queen Hippolyta.
Duh.
Okay.
Oh, got you.
Yep.
Okay.
We were all close.
You're all close. All good characters up from Wonder Woman, but it is Queen Hippolyta, and it's funny because a lot of scholars She was the fighting queen, the queen of the Amazons in the comics and in mythology. And then in Midsummer, she's sort of reduced to this woman who is quickly going to be married to Theseus. And he says a line like, I wooed you with my sword, or something like that. But yeah, it's Queen Hippolyta.
Yeah, we saw.
And Antiope, played by Robin Wright, is her sister.
Antiope is Robin Wright, yes.
Yeah.
Connie Nielsen is Hippolyta.
Yes, Connie Nielsen.
Yeah. From Gladiator, yep.
Also, Ken, was Diana Wonder Woman technically a princess, or was she a queen?
She was a princess.
Yeah, she's not a queen.
Okay, there we
because that's
go.
where
She's a queen in my eyes.
Yeah.
Well, she's a queen in all of our eyes, yeah.
That's right.
I really like that movie.
Shout out to Gal Gadot. Just come on the show. Do some trivia.
Always welcome.
Yeah.
She's a big
I'm
listener.
Sure she's a fan of trivia.
All right. So we're on to question 5. And as everyone knows, it's our listener submitted question. So I actually threw one in here. This is from our friend David Raffetto. In the movie Dead Poets Society, Robin Williams' character John Keating teaches at an elite preparatory academy named what?
Man, come on.
Vivek is in.
Ken is currently standing on the table.
I don't see how I could possibly come up with this answer.
It is a difficult question for any film fan. I was going to give a hint, but I figured I would just leave it.
I'm good with a no answer on this one.
Okay, so you're tapping?
I'm tapping.
All right, Ken is tapping?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Vivek, what do you got?
I think it's Welton Academy.
The answer, known for hitting yourself and getting a bruise, is Welton Academy.
Yeah, as I'm doing right now, yeah.
Is there nothing this man does not know? That's my question right now.
Hopefully we'll find out. I don't know if we will, though.
Well, just this round, it was just Hippolyta so far, but
I saw this movie within the last year. I rewatched it within the last year, trying to figure out what the big deal is. I still don't think it's that great.
I watched it when I was recovering for some surgery, so I might have been on some painkillers, and maybe the name of the academy didn't stick for some reason.
But it was awesome.
But it was great.
Especially when everyone started getting on their desks. You tried to stand up and you couldn't because you.
Maybe that's why the movie I watched the highest was Lincoln though.
Oh really? From medicine?
Huh?
Highest from the
yeah,
medicine?
it was right after the surgery. Like I literally got out of the surgery, went home, and I actually didn't take any painkillers besides what they gave me at the hospital. So I was still on the whatever Oxy maybe from the hospital, and I watched Lincoln, and it was great.
So what do you think happened in the Civil War?
I like the part in Lincoln when Jackie Earle Haley goes, "A comedian died in New York tonight."
So yes, it was Walton Academy, and
that's what we were talking about.
Just to segue back in, I was going to say if you guys haven't seen it, there's a great
SNL. I love that.
SNL skit with Fred Armisen where they do a little number on Dead Poet Society. It's great.
Yeah.
So Google that. All right, number 6 might be an easy one. Just depends if you like cars or not.
Oh no.
Not many hot rods.
The movie or
yes.
The movie.
Wow, Lightning McQueen. Yeah. Okay. Number 6. Not many hot rods are as famous as the car driven by the Dukes of Hazzard. What is the make and model of that car?
before recording, Neil asked me if I thought this question was hard, and I laughed and said, Neil, I'm a car guy.
I'm not a car guy, so I'm not answering.
Sorry. Did you say year, make, and model, or just make and model?
Just make and model. If you do the year,
Why are you even asking that?
If you
must
do,
know it.
I'm in.
Okay.
No, I don't know the year.
Quit scaring me like that, man.
I was going to say just throw in the year anyway, just to rub it in. All right, I'm in.
Okay. Let's start with Phil.
I just wrote down El Dorado.
El Dorado. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tapped?
Tapped out.
All right. And Vivek?
The General Lee is a Dodge Charger.
It is a 1969 Dodge Charger.
Ooh.
The General Lee.
Could have given a Bryan Adams hint on that.
I was going to give a hint, but you never know. All right. Question 7, submitted by our friend Greg, is about some actors. So 2 actors, Peter Finch and Heath Ledger, both won Oscars posthumously for Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, respectively. But this actor is the only actor to be nominated posthumously for 2 Best Actor Oscars in films that were released in separate years. Who is it?
He was nominated twice in 2 separate years, both posthumous.
Both
Correct.
posthumous, yep.
And he was actually nominated in 2 separate awards years,
Categories.
too.
Okay.
So the movies were in 2 separate years, and he was nominated in 2 consecutive award ceremonies as well.
Right.
And I don't want to give you the years, so
Right.
I'll give you a hint.
I'm in.
Okay, Vivek is in.
Okay. I am in.
Okay. Vivek is in. Ken is in. Phil, are you in?
I am in.
All right, let's start with Ken.
Well, I just remember there's a nice little statue of James Dean right behind me, so I went with James Dean.
Okay, Phil?
I was thinking that originally, and I changed my answer. I can't even think of the movies that he would be nominated for, but I went with my guy, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
PSH.
I'll tell that story in a second. I did it on another podcast, but all right, Vivek, your answer?
I was between James Dean and Spencer Tracy. I went with James Dean. I think one of them's East of Eden. I don't know what the other one is.
All right, so
Maybe Rebel.
No.
So the years are 1956 and 1957, and it is James Dean for East of Eden and Giant.
Oh.
So Phil was the only one who had a nice clear shot of the statue and sitting in this room.
Yeah, there's
James Dean.
There's a James Dean statue right on my wall behind her. I'm a big fan of James Dean. Obviously, my hairstyle reflects that. And speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, I told this on Best of the Best, but our friend Kevin, a friend of his, told him this story. I'm almost 100% sure it is not factual, and the guy's insane, but he said that he worked at a supermarket in the south suburbs of Chicago where Philip Seymour Hoffman would have no business being. And he
Ever.
And he said at 2 a.m. he walked in, and Philip Seymour Hoffman came up to him, and he's like, hey, you got any frozen peas? And the guy's like, excuse me? He's like, you got any frozen peas? I'm throwing a party. So
There's no way that happened.
No way that happened. He also says that Alan Rickman came into the South Chicago grocery store. Yeah, right. Okay. Moving on to question 8. In the musical Damn Yankees, the devil went by this name that he shares with an actress known to have outlived her babysitter in a 1991 film. Vivek is in. Any fans of Damn Yankees?
No, I don't know. I know the film you're referencing, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
All right, so both Ken and Phil tapped. Vivek, what do you got?
I don't know. I've never seen Damn Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Oh, 3-way tap.
3-way.
I wasn't gonna get it.
Okay, so 3-way tap. So the devil went by the name Mr. Applegate, and my clue was Christina Applegate was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, moving on to question 9. Estella and Pip are 2 literary characters in this Dickens classic, known for its memorable opening line.
I'm in.
Okay, me too.
I am also in.
All right, let's start with Phil.
I went with Tale of Two Cities.
Okay, and let's go to Ken.
Yep, when you talk about famous opening lines in Dickens, you gotta go with Tale of Two Cities.
All right, and Vivek.
Great Expectations.
Ooh.
Okay, so the correct answer is Great Expectations.
Ooh. That one hurt.
Yeah, that one, it's a little bit of a trick because Tale of Two Cities does have a great opening line. It was the best of times, the worst of times. Yeah. But Great Expectations is one that...
What is the line?
The opening line of Great Expectations is, my father's family name being Pirup and my Christian name Philip, my infant tongue could make of both names nothing longer or more explicit than Pip.
Very famous line, apparently.
That's what the internet says.
It's relatively famous,
right.
yeah.
Don't watch there's an Ethan Hawke, Gwyneth Paltrow Great Expectations movie. It was made in the late 90s. It is not good. Don't watch it.
It doesn't sound very good.
We will definitely pass. Vivek's Rotten Tomatoes score is 0%.
No, the best.
I think what's amazing is I think Alfonso Cuarón directed it.
Oh wow!
But it's still bad.
That's funny. All right, so this last question, it's going to be kind of hard to explain, but it's a little bit of movie music math. So make sure you have your pen and paper out again.
Okay.
And if you're listening at home, just kind of think to yourself, pause it, and you'll get to it.
Pull over. Make sure you're in a safe, under a viaduct, preferably.
So I'm calling it franchise math, okay? So I'm going to give you 3 actors and a franchise or franchises that they were the same character in. And I will explain later, but you're going to add the number of films in those franchises up for an answer here, okay? So let's start. Sylvester Stallone played Rocky Balboa, John Rambo, and Barney Ross in the Rambo franchise, the Rocky franchise, and the Expendables franchise. So between those 3 franchises, for the start here, write down how many movies that is. So how many Rambos, how many Rockies, and how many Expendables movies.
Okay, 1 second.
Yep, no, take your time, and then add that number up.
Oh, that's the full question?
It's the 3-part question, so that's the first part.
Any movie in which he played Rocky Balboa?
Any movie in which Sylvester Stallone appeared as Rocky Balboa, yep.
Okay.
All right, and just you guys can keep taking notes. The second thing I'm going to have you add up is how many films did Vin Diesel portray Dominic Toretto in the Fast and the Furious franchise? The third clue is George Lazenby. How many films did he play James Bond in? And then once everyone has their number, the actual question is that answer from that math question. I'm looking for the artist. I'm looking for the recording artist who made the track of the answer that you're going to get. So the answer is going to be the recording artist. So whatever number you come up with, it has to be a famous recording artist who sang that song.
I like how you go through all the blood, sweat, and tears to get to the answer, and you still might not have the answer. That's brutal, Neil.
Okay, so while you guys are doing that, I'm going to quickly, for the listeners, Rocky, Rambo, and Expendables franchises, how many films was Sylvester Stallone, the characters in those? George Lazenby, how many James Bond films was he in? And Vin Diesel, how many Fast and the Furious films was he Dominic Toretto in? Appeared in the film.
Was this a listener question, or was this you?
Oh, no, this is me.
Yeah. This is a Neil question.
This is devious.
Phil is in, Ken is in, Vivek is in. All right, let's start with Phil.
I went with Adele.
Okay. Good guess on that one. Good logic. Ken?
So my addition added up to about 22, 23 with some room for error about the Fast and Furious franchise, which I wasn't sure about. But I think Taylor Swift has a song like that, 22 or 23. I'm not sure which, but Taylor Swift.
Okay. And Vivek, what do you got?
T Swift and 22.
The correct answer is Taylor Swift with 22. So the little trick, couple of the tricks in there, Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto was not actually in Too Fast, Too Furious, the second one. And then he appeared at the end of Tokyo Drift, the third one. So he was only in 7, not 8.
Okay.
So they've released 8, but he was only in 7. Sylvester Stallone was in 3 Expendables. He was in 4 Rambos. And he was in 7 Rockies because of his appearance in Creed as Rocky Balboa. And then George Lazenby was the only James Bond who only appeared once. So that's 22.
So my numbers were right, except for the one missed appearance from Vin.
Right, and I figured you guys, if you were 22, 23, maybe 21, you might figure that out.
Yeah. Adele's album was 21, but
that's correct.
Was there a song called 21 or no?
No. It was 22. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What were you gonna say, Vivek?
No, I was going to say I got to the right number the wrong way because I had 7 for Vin Diesel, but I thought he was not in Tokyo Drift. I just assumed he wasn't in Tokyo Drift.
I had the exact same logic. And then Neil's like, "No, he's not in Too Fast, Too Furious." And I'm like, "He's in Tokyo Drift," and he's like, "Yeah, right at the end, he like shows up for no reason." And I'm like, "He is, yeah, that's right."
Jeff, let's get a score update after round 2 before going into the final.
Absolutely. So tacking on to his score, going from 70 to an even 100, Phil in third place. Ken adds another 40 in the round to go to 140. Why are you laughing?
Because he's over like 200 right now.
I mean, if you think 270 is over 200, then technically yes.
Oh my God.
So Vivek with 270.
Great. So as you guys know, you can use any of the points that you've accumulated in your wagers. Each question is 0 to 30 points per category on your confidence. All right, guys, here are your categories. I'm going to give you your first questions category. It's going to be Sports Hall of Fames.
Question 2 is going to be in 80s pop hits.
Question 3 is going to be generational Oscar winners.
Question 4 is going to be in toys.
The film or?
No, toys.
The Robin Williams classic. Question 5 is going to be in cocktails. All right, is everyone ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
Question 1. Sports Hall of Fames. This running back, known for giving a mean mile-high salute, is just the 5th member of his franchise to be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ready? Question 2 in 80s pop hits. In I'm Gonna Be by the Proclaimers, it's said that I'm gonna be the man who's haverin' to you. What does it mean to haver?
All right. Question 3 is in generational Oscar winners. 2 women have the distinction of being in an exclusive club. They are the only third-generation winners in Oscar history. One shared an Oscar in the same category her father won in, and the other was directed by her father to win her Oscar. Name one of them.
Question 4 is in toys. This toy, which celebrated its 100th anniversary, has been manufactured by K'NEX since 2014.
And our last question, question 5, is in the category of cocktails. Made famous by the Beastie Boys, what primate-inspired cocktail has mixed malt liquor and Sunny Delight? Okay, everyone is in. So let's start with question 1, which was Sports Hall of Fames. What were their wagers, Jeff?
So Phil with the low bet of 10, Ken went 20, Vivek 30.
All right, so let's go low to high. So let's start with Ken.
I felt like you were looking for a Denver running back, but I couldn't think of any, so I just went with Walter Payton.
Okay.
Is he a running back?
He is a running back.
Yes.
But for our Chicago Bears,
yes,
one of the greatest of all time. Phil?
I have Terrell Davis.
Okay. And Vivek?
One of my favorites, and a member of the 2,000-yard club, Terrell Davis.
Is that Denver?
He is a Denver Bronco. Yeah. He was just put into the Hall of Fame this week, yesterday, I believe, or on Friday. Cool. And he played for my favorite quarterback of all time, John Elway. The answer is Terrell Davis.
Question 2 is in 80s pop hits. In I'm Gonna Be by the Proclaimers, it is said that I'm gonna be the man who's haverin' to you. What does it mean to haver? And with the wagers on that, everybody went 30.
Big mistake.
So, Vivek, you want to kick that one off?
Yeah, I don't know what the technical term is for this, but it's like getting drunk and like talking nonsense, talking rubbish, gibberish.
Okay.
Do I need to be more specific than that?
No, that's specific enough for me to figure out what you meant.
I went with like servitude.
Phil?
I left it blank.
Well, the good news for one of you is havering means to talk foolishly or babble. So Vivek's definitely getting points on that one.
Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, when I had heard that, I was just like, what does that mean?
Same. I looked it up. I think I looked at the Genius article like a while ago.
All right, question 3. It was in the category of generational Oscar winners. Jeff, what were their wagers?
Wagers on that were 10 to Phil, and Vivek and Ken both going 30.
I was looking for one name out of the 2 women that are in the exclusive club of being the only third-generation Oscar winners in history. Phil, what did you go with?
I said Angelina Jolie.
Okay. Ken?
That was a good play, Phil. I went with Sofia Coppola.
Okay.
I don't think she won a directing Oscar. No, I know she didn't win a directing Oscar, but maybe screenplay.
Okay. And Vivek?
The one I had more confidence in was Angelica Houston. I also thought Sofia Coppola was probably the other right answer, but I went with Angelica Houston.
Okay, so the correct answers are Sofia Coppola and Angelica Houston. Angelina Jolie and Jon Voight, while she won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, he won for Best Actress, but it wasn't a third generational. It was just them two, father-daughter. It wasn't grandfather, father-daughter.
Okay, gotcha.
Sofia Coppola won hers in screenwriting for Lost in Translation, sharing it with Francis Ford, who won it for Patton. And her grandfather, Francis Ford's father, Carmine, won for composing music for Godfather.
Ah.
And Angelica Houston, as Vivek said, she won for Prizzi's Honor, which he directed her in. John Huston.
One of those Coppola's going to do something with their lives.
Yeah, right.
And don't forget about Nick Cage.
And Nick Cage and
Jason Schwartzman.
That's true. And actually, in the world of trivia, Spike Jonze was married to Sofia Coppola for a while, so he is considered technically a Coppola by marriage in the amount of Oscars or nominations. So,
and Jason Schwartzman, I don't know.
Yes.
Question 4 was in toys. So the wagers here, Phil going 20, Ken and Vivek again going 30. So let's see. Let's go to Phil.
I said Lincoln Logs.
Okay. And Vivek?
Lincoln Logs.
Ken?
I just went with Mr. Potato Head.
So that is Lincoln Logs. So yeah, famously.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Question 5, our last of the final round. The category was cocktails. I asked you guys about the Beastie Boys inspired drink. And what were the wagers, Jeff?
So same as last round, 20 to Phil, Ken, and Vivek going 30.
All right, let's start with Phil, who I know is who appreciates the Beastie Boys.
I do, and I also appreciate a good brass monkey.
Okay, Vivek?
Brass, monkey, junkie.
And Ken?
Yeah, this is my brain's ticking a little slowly, so it took me a minute, but I put together that was like a big hint, and I went with brass monkey.
It is brass monkey.
Although I've heard different recipes, like you said, Sunny D. Like I've heard orange, like just orange juice.
Yeah,
would also work in a pinch.
It's not. I mean, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Yeah, in college it was just OJ and malt liquor. Like drink enough of the malt liquor and then pour the OJ into the 40.
That's it for the final round. It is now time to find out who is the cream of the crop. In third place with 110 points, Phil.
Good job, Phil. Good
Respectable.
first outing.
Respectable.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah,
Especially for the level of difficulty on these questions.
I'm good as I broke those 3 digits. I'm good with over 100. That's cool.
Second place, Ken with 120. And first place, our cream of the crop, Vivek.
Shocking.
There's a shocker.
420 points.
Whoa. That's huge.
Did you wager that much? Because you're going to take the paper of all of our questions and roll it up and smoke it away?
It's that time, guys.
So Vivek is our cream of the crop.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Well done. Well done. I think that's our highest score ever.
I don't know if that'll be passed, yeah.
Well, especially because we had that monster swing round.
Yeah, it's hard to measure different games against each other because of the difference in the swing round. But
yeah, that's why it's the swing round.
Needless to say, very formidable round against what I felt were extremely difficult questions.
I had a blast, gentlemen. This was fun. And anytime we get to talk about Terrell Davis, I am happy. I'm gonna go watch his YouTube highlights from '97.
Oh, he's so great, Super Bowl MVP.
It's incredible,
so good. We'll have to have you back on another show as well, if you'd like to come back.
Yeah, happy to come on. Happy to ask the questions next time. I like writing them too.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be great. And Phil, thank you so much for coming out today and hanging out in the studio.
Thank you for having me, guys. Vivek, it was awesome playing with you. Thank you.
Great playing with you as well.
So yeah, thank you to all of our contestants. Thank you to my co-host Neil for helping me put this one together. This is kind of fun to co-write a game. If you'd like to play along with our contestants, make sure to check out our Facebook page where we have our official Triviality score sheet, same one that we use here in the studio. Neil, how can people get in touch with us?
Well, if they'd like to reach out to us on Twitter, where Vivek spews some wrestling promos back and forth with us, you can go to @TrivialityPod. If you want to go to our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/TrivialityPod. And if you want to send us an email, make sure to email us at trivialitypodcast@gmail.com. And if it's a Question 5 submission, just put the host name that you would like to read it, and we will make sure it is used for a future episode.
Of course, other than spreading the word, the best way you can support the show is by rating, reviewing, and subscribing to Triviality on your favorite podcast app. You can also directly support us at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. Until the next game, on behalf of Ken, Neil, my EMF meter is picking up a little bit of Matt here in the studio as well. And thank you for Phil and Vivek for joining us. That was Triviality.
I'm joking right now. My calf kind of hurts. It burns.
Same thing. Dude, I swear to God, my calf kind of burns right now, bro.
Holy you want to look at it just to make sure?
Is it being scratched?
I don't know. It just burns. It's this one right here.
Open it. Hold on. Dude, you got scratches right here.
Shut up.
Don't bleed. Keep it still. I'm just documenting this right now.
Look at the burn.
Those are 2 claw marks, bro.